Hi class, hopefully you can hear me okay. I wanted to do a quick recording for you. I'm not looking my best right now, so I'm just going to keep this picture up of me. But I know that there's a lot of confusion with what journal articles you're supposed to be finding. Now, I gave you most of those points just for submitting that you've done the library workshop, but the other part of it is I think there's a lack of communication in terms of what articles that you should be focused on finding. Remember that this is a psychology course still. So it's research methods in behavioral sciences, specifically psychology. I did see some really good articles. I did see some, looking into other fields in social sciences, such as sociology, business would even be one as well, anthropology, but kind of try to use all that you've learned from your previous classes because this is that last class that you're going to need before transferring over into a psychology department at a four-year institution. So I want to share my screen with you and kind of give you both. Let me see if this is the right screen. Okay, I don't have any way of knowing if you're seeing what I'm seeing, but um, okay, so when we're looking at the different types of articles, totally forgot what I was going to say, but let me just kind of take you through from the beginning of what I wanted to tell you. So, of course, you're using this to transfer over likely to a psychology program of some sort. So let's keep it on track with what we're looking at. Remember from intro, psychology is the study of human behavior and mental processes. Not just that, but the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. This is the scientific part, right? So of course there are some fields where it's a little bit more mystical, a little bit of more of the psychodynamic, psychoanalytic perspectives, humanistic perspectives. But one day, maybe you can be the generation that looks into making those evidence-based sciences too. For now, I want to help give you those tools. So you'll see your, course modules look the same as mine. I'll go into student view if I have to, but you're seeing exactly what I have laid out for you. It should look exactly the same. So we passed week 2, but what I wanted to help you find was, let's go into academic writer. I told you that I would never have you purchase anything that you're not going to use. I'm going to start implementing way more of academic writer. So let's go into basics of APA style. This is mainly to help you focus your research question. Now, remember, all of these things are resources you can always go back to. We are, right now we're in starting week 5, but before we get there, you're going to see that I have a lot of assignments due for you or um, available for you to do that is going to really rely on these journal articles. So I'll put another page that helps you get there easier, but for now, let's go to basics of APA style. I just want to get you into academic writer. Now, when we're in this page, you can just open load basics of load basics of APA style in a new window. This should help. One more tip, I know that I already have it written down, but try not to open too many buttons of other things after you open this because it'll make the grade that you do, it won't reflect the grade as well. So you've already done all of this, but I want to take you out of the screen. If you look to the upper right-hand corner, it'll say exit full screen. Click on that. And now you're gonna see these tabs at the very top. So under academic writer, it'll say home, learn, reference, write. And you can always get to this page. If you click on write, you're gonna see welcome to the writing center. Want to start a new paper or work on a saved paper. Likely you'll want to start a new paper. So I'm gonna click this along with you just to show you. And then you're gonna see basic paper, reaction paper, literature review paper, empirical paper, case study, multi-experiment. I'm going to do empirical paper just to show you because your full term project will actually be an empirical paper based off of a psychological research study that you do in this class. Literature review paper is good too, but you should have already got a pretty good gist of that. If we had more time, I would have you write a literature review paper, but a lot of the Psych-Learn modules, as well as the APA academic writer modules, will cover this. So you just have to know of those skills. Let's click on empirical paper. A cool thing about this too is you can actually even click on view a sample paper, and it'll show you a sample paper. This is for another time. Sorry, let's go back. All right, so with empirical paper, click on empirical paper. This is going to be a student assignment. So the main differences are you do not have to have a running head. You don't have to have an author's note. I will, for your future project, I do want you to include abstract keywords. They can be added later. So each professor that you have, if you're writing a research paper, ask them, make sure that you know what they want. Professional manuscripts, we just don't need that right now because you are not quite at that level just yet. So let's go student assignment. Here, you're going to enter a title of your paper. Usually, and you'll read this in the APA manual, you'll see this as we go through the class, but it's usually going to be about 14 to 16 words long. That is going to be because you're going to have your topic that you're talking about, and that topic will have 3 variables. I'll talk about those variables in another video. So let's say sample paper for research methods. Of course, this isn't 14 to 16 words, but this is just to give you something for this title page. Start writing. The cool thing about this, I can't tell you enough how awesome it is for you to have this academic writer. I wish that when I was in undergrad, I had this, and they're actually making it available for students to be able to utilize or purchase this once you are in that 4-year institution that you're transferring over to. Okay, so here, this is really cool. This is everything that you should have read in those journal articles you will see here, because this is actually how you're going to write. You're actually going to write your research project in this exact template, in this exact format. Now, before we get here, I'm going to take you up to underneath the main menu. On the left-hand navigation, it says Research Lab Book. Click on this caret or the words, and then right underneath, the first selection is Develop My Research Idea. Go ahead and click this. This is so cool because you can read this all on your own, but this is going to help you develop your research idea for this course. Now, some of you have really awesome ideas. I know this because you're already probably natural psychologist. You want to know about human behavior. You want to know about human mental processes. But this class, I need you to have the foundations before you get too fancy in terms of a study that would take much longer and much more data analysis skills to do in this. We just don't have the time. We don't have the, availability of resources to do that in this class right now. So we're already starting week 5 soon. And that's just giving you like an idea that a lot of the really interesting questions you guys had would take years to study, right? I just need you to have the foundations so that if you do collect data in this study based on something you're really interested in, or just semi-interested in, then you'll have that data for next year, for 2 years from now, when you're in graduate school, if that's within your plans. So let's say that you already have an idea about what you're interested in. And if you don't, you can select this top button that says, Ask me questions to help me discover my interest. So maybe I already know what I'm interested in. Let's select that and then go into Save and Continue. In Save and Continue, it'll ask you, what areas are you interested in researching? I'll go along with some examples that I already gave in your upcoming homework files, but let's say that I'm interested in life satisfaction. So instead of happiness, like research scientists, we don't really say happiness. It's not a very clear indicator of what we're looking at. Everyone has a different definition. So instead, I'll say life satisfaction because there are scales that are already developed for life satisfaction. And remember, I know some of you have young ones, or your parents, or your older siblings, or aunts and uncles. You want to know this. We cannot assess minors. You can look for journal articles that does study on life satisfaction within minors or adolescents or teens and youth. But remember, for IRB, Institutional Review Board, I am IRB for this class for you guys. We are not doing anything that is going to be invasive. We're going to do minimal risk or no risk at all. So life satisfaction and let's say academic success. I know this may be boring to you, but that's okay. I just need you to have the foundations, right? Maybe this is not something that is, you might be concerned a little bit about it, but let's stick with these two. So life satisfaction and academic success in college. Oops. So let's click on save and continue. And then it'll help you identify your topic. Okay, so let's refine your interest. And you just keep going along with this. You'll go through developing a research question, elaborating on your research question, describing expectations, right? So some of you have a very broad general view, which is a good place to start, right? So maybe you're curious about something like life satisfaction, empathy, any of the things from the approved list of contracts. It doesn't have to be from that list. You just have to check with me first so that I can approve it and say, yeah, this is something that you could probably do within this time frame of what we have in this semester. Now, if it's something too narrow, too focused, we want to take a step back, right? Be sure to kind of go through all those pages. And if you forget anything, don't be afraid to go back into previous weeks. Don't be afraid to come back into a Scikit-learn module, go back into your book, go back into your APA manual, even though I said that it is an optional book for you to have. It's definitely an investment. And if you remain in any of the social sciences, if you go into business, medicine, health-related fields, you're going to be using APA style. So the manual is not really meant to be read cover to cover, even though I have that on the reading list. It is a reference guide. So you go back to it and choose, okay, how do I write with bias-free language? How do I cite something that I saw on TikTok? That's how you'll use that book. So I hope this helped out a little bit. I know that I didn't really have like an organized way of lecturing this topic, so I was jumping all over the place, but I hope that this helped. Please let me know if you do have any questions, and I will try to record more videos. I'm working on recording more newer ones, since my older ones, they're not for an asynchronous model. So hope you enjoy the rest of your day, your week, and keep checking in. Don't be afraid to email me. I try not to work on the weekends, but that can't be helped sometimes. So hopefully this modality of asynchronous works with you. And don't forget to work on your own time management and boundaries as well. All right, that is the end of this mini lecture. Have a good one, guys and folks, sorry.